Hello and welcome to the very first Raw review for this channel. For the few people who did watch my intro video, I know you're all just dying with excitement to listen to my glorious review and opinion of Monday Night Raw. But Raw, had its ups and downs. One big up, especially, and we'll get to that at the very end. But Raw starts off with, of course, a recap what happened last week. We all know, well, at least if you follow wrestling, you know that Finn Balor, after winning the WWE Universal Championship at SummerSlam, had to relinquish the title because he torn his labrum in the match, and he'll be out to 6 months, which sucks. But they had set up last week on Raw a tournament for a Battle Royal tonight to determine the number one, or not the number one contender, I'm sorry, the new WWE Universal Champion. And so Raw kicked off with all the contenders in the ring, with Corey Graves kind of interviewing them. It was Owens and Big Cass, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, all those guys. And, I mean, I know people get on Reigns, but he's not as bad as you people think he is. He's really not. I mean, I understand the whole, it's fun to boo Roman Reigns thing, but he, the guy cut him some slack. Kevin Owens is absolutely fantastic. Big Cass, I don't really know why they chose to put him in that match in this segment. He is much more suited as a tag team with Enzo. Him and Enzo, they should have won the tag titles at SummerSlam, no question, in Brooklyn, in their hometown. That would have been absolutely fantastic. Excuse me, I lost my voice, basically, from yelling so much tonight. Seth Rollins, of course, he's always gold. He's pretty much, the golden boy, right now in WWE. He's got all the in-ring skills in the world. He's got the mic skills. He's got it all. So that was a really good segment to open things up, and of course it ends up in a brawl with Roman Reigns standing tall, which, kind of gave me a little bit of hope that he would not win the main event. That proved to be true. And the first match of the evening was Neville and Chris Jericho. And if anyone who's going to start watching this channel, you'll find out real quickly that I absolutely love Neville. I think Neville is by far one of the most underutilized talents in the entire company. You have the network. If you have it, go back and watch any of his NXT TakeOver matches. Him and Bo Dallas had an amazing ladder match in NXT. Just his work is incredible, and he's completely underutilized on the main roster. He had a match with Jericho, who, even though I like his whole goatee mustache scarf thing, the whole snob gimmick he's got going on, I think it's pretty neat. Jericho needs to be that guy that just puts people over, in there for the younger talent, makes him look good, because he can still put on good matches in his, I don't even know what he is, early mid-40s. But yeah, him and Neville, they had an alright match. Neville ends up tapping out to the walls of Jericho, which, I disagree with that, but, whatever. Hopefully, Neville's the guy that when he wins the big one, or wins anything, he's the guy that you really cheer for them, because it's legit, because he paid his dues, and he really, he'll deserve that big moment, because the guy is just way too talented, way too entertaining with everything that he does. Excuse me, to never ever have any kind of a title. So unless WWE is just completely stupid, which, it's not very shocking if they are. The second match, Sami Zayn and Jinder Mahal, another example. Why is this match happening? Why is Sami Zayn, who, if you watched Battleground last month, him and Kevin Owens had a match of the year candidate, fantastic. Sami Zayn, I've never seen him have a bad match, ever. He can go out with anyone and make anyone look great. He always looks fantastic. Has one of the coolest movesets. And they're putting him in a squash match with Jinder Mahal. He beats Jinder Mahal in just a few minutes with the haluva kick. Um, I mean, what's the point? What's the point? A lot of people have said that Sami Zayn could be the next Daniel Bryan, which, I don't know if anyone will ever reach that level, to be quite honest with you, because Daniel Bryan was, in the term of his popularity and how he connected with the universe, he's truly like a once in a generation. I mean, really, ever since Stone Cold, who really connected with the fan base like Daniel Bryan. But Sami Zayn definitely deserves to at least be in the United States Championship title with Rusev, I would say, which I did miss a little bit of Raw. So unless he was in that, I don't even remember seeing Rusev. I just thought that no Rusev, no United States Champion. What's up with that? The New Day and Bayley against the Club and Dana Brooke. The New Day are just kind of, I mean, yeah, I laugh at them once in a while, but, they're kind of the thing in wrestling that you don't really want to talk about with your friends because then they laugh at you for liking wrestling in the first place. And the Club is a team, coming over from New Japan, really talented guys, really good in the ring, but they're just kind of jobbers. They job out. They lose, for those of you who don't know what that term means. And Bayley, she was a big deal. In NXT, she just got caught up a week ago, and she's already in a useless match, in a useless tag match, in the middle of a Raw that really, it doesn't mean anything. And that's the thing, like with Neville, like I mentioned earlier with NXT, it's always exciting when you watch NXT and you see these wrestlers, you fall in love with these wrestlers and these characters and who they are, and then when they get to Raw and they get to SmackDown, it doesn't always translate. It leaves you sitting there wondering, well, they were so great in NXT, they put on these fantastic matches, why don't they translate that to the main roster? Why is it we get, Roman Reigns shoved down our throats, which I'm one of the few people, if not the only person, who went from hating Roman Reigns to at least appreciating Roman Reigns, because the guy can wrestle. He can legitimately wrestle. His personality and his mic skills and the way he obviously can't connect with the audience because he gets the crap boot out of him everywhere he goes. But anyway, NXT, yeah. Which if you don't have the WWE Network and you don't watch NXT, and if you're a wrestling fan and you're not paying the $10 a month, come on, get the network. It's get the network. Cesaro and Sheamus in the second match, of the best of 7 series that they've had going on. If you didn't see their match at SummerSlam, the pre-show match, it was very good, very good. Deserved to be on the main card more than some of the matches that were on the main card. But I don't think it was as good of a match tonight that they put on. But it was still very solid. I know that spot where Sheamus flips him, back body drops into the turnbuckle, and Cesaro hurts the lower back, and then Sheamus locks him to Cloverleaf, and Cesaro ended up tapping out, which I was, pretty shocked to see that, because I expected Cesaro to tie it up. But it's interesting. I think it adds an interesting dynamic, because with Cesaro going down 2-0, it makes him the underdog, and Cesaro is the guy who, he's the guy that I am deathly afraid will become Dolph Ziggler. Because 3 years ago, Dolph Ziggler was crazy popular. He was the guy that every hardcore fan wanted to see get a big push and never got one, was always held down And Cesaro is the same way. Cesaro, incredible ring talent. I've never seen him have a bad match. He's he's gotten so much better on the mic. I remember he used to be cringe worthy on the mic, and he's gotten so much better. His personality, connecting with the audience, and his ring work is absolutely incredible. Um, so I do, even though I love Sheamus, I do. I've loved Sheamus since he